Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Parksy here, your coach of the Armaldos, bringing it back to Smash today here for DGBA season 5, week number 6. Sorry, I got a little bit confused. We're going to be going against MX3 coach of the AFC Ajaxorus, also known as the Ajaxorus Amsterdam. I guess MX3 is one of my oldest friends. He, I think, was the first person I ever talked to in regards to Draft League. Because of course I joined the SDL, which was his league, and I kind of messaged him one day, PM'd him like as soon as I started, like, what the heck, because I was very new to Discord. I only got Discord because I was planning to make a new room on Pokemon Showdown with Cabalion Council, Neon M, and the Welsh Wall, which would have been about Draft League. So unfortunately, that room, of course, never got to work. We didn't get any like people from American time zone that or foreign time zone that could have stayed up to keep the server running. So yeah, but anyway, we're going to be going against MX3. You guys know a little bit more about me now, but he faced a very hard loss against Hughes last week, but yet again I did lose to Hughes as well. He said that apparently he he lost because of hacks, but I mean, he had 5 Pokemon still alive, so not entirely too sure. That question of the day, by the way, is not supposed to be that, because that's the same as last time. That's supposed to be, what is your favorite ice type move in Draft League? So let me know down in the description, as well as liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. All feedback is appreciated. But without further ado, let's get into it, as my feet of pins and needles. Ouch. As you guys know, I recorded my laptop. My bedroom's freezing. Who has it not? So first up, we've got Mega Medicham, of course, an absolute monster with base 100 attack, which doesn't sound great until you realize that it has the ability Huge Power. So it basically has a base 200 attack stat. I believe the highest attack stat in the game. Pretty sure it is. But this thing with its coverage is just an absolute monster. It can run 3 attacks with I don't know, like substitute. It can run acupressure. That's actually something I was considering, as we'll get as I'll explain a little bit later on. But of course, very scary threat. Also has build punch for priority, so that can be quite scary. Next up is Salamence, which is a Z user. Of course, Salamence is a very versatile Pokemon, being able to hit in the special physical side, gets access to Dragon Dance, Defog, all that good stuff. It is quad weak to ice, which my team does have. You know, I have quite a good bit of ice coverage, but a Yachi Berry can always cover that up. Tangrowth is one of my favorite Pokemon in Draft League, and why is that? Is because this thing is so, like, you just can't kill this Pokemon. It's like so easy, it's so hard to OHKO, and it can definitely do a lot of annoying things like Knock Off, Earthquake, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Sleep Powder. So there's just a whole bunch of things this Pokemon can do, and I'm super scared about it. Next up is Gengar. Gengar is an absolute monster alongside Mega Medicham. Those two, I'm pretty sure, just break through the entirety of my team. So definitely have to be careful of that. Also gives him a grounded poison type, due to the fact that in Generation 7 it lost its Levitate for Cursed Body, as you'll see in the battle. That kind of plays into things, but it is a ground poison type, so you can absorb those T-spikes, and has a very nice special attack stat with access to a lot of moves. Vaporeon's up next, is Cleric on the team. Very bulky Pokemon, very hard to even 2KO. I was looking at my Pokemon, I was like, what the heck, why can't I 2KO this Pokemon with many things. Just a huge threat. Can wish past into other threats like the Mega Medicham, the Gengar, and the Salamence. Next up is Mandibuzz, again another bulky Pokemon with access to a few nice moves like Roost, Defog, Taunt, Tailwind, Foul Play, and Knockoff. Usually seen as a Spadef build, but can come physically if it wants to try and check my Hitmonlee, and potentially even a Choice Band Victory Victini, which I have brought in the past. Next up is Blaziken. Not sure really how Blaziken matches up versus Meat, considering that Victini can take its dual stabs, and I have got a Blastoise and an Aerodactyl that can kind of scare it out as well. Plus also Mega Aggron lives ahead, so that might be why it doesn't bring Blaziken. But of course, it gives him a Defogger and a very nice fighting type, and just in case he doesn't want to bring Mega Medicham. Very good dual typing, by the way. Fire and fighting breaks through a lot of things. Up next is Raikou, the fastest Pokemon on his team with base 115 speed. A super fast all electric type, which is scary for my team. As you guys know, I'm kind of scared of fast electric types, and my team gets access to things like Signal Beam and Calm Mind, so can Calm Mind up on my Pokemon. However, I do have a strategy to take down the Raikou, which I think would be pretty cool. Up next is Steelix, which is his only steel type and also his only stealth rocker on the team. His only ground as well, so his only electric immunity, but his only stealth rocker, which I do plan to abuse the fact that this is the only Pokemon that can get up hazards for him. Very strong Pokemon, of course, gets sturdy, and it can also be ran offensively from time to time with the ability Sheer Force. It can run special moves like Dark Pulse, or it can run physical with the fact that it gets quite a huge move pool. It gets Steel Stab, it gets Edge Quake, it gets the Elemental Fangs. Up next is Gardevoir. Gardevoir I've used in the what was it called? The PBA. I forgot the name of my own league, my goodness. But a very good Scarfer. It can also be a bit bulky, as it does give him a secondary Cleric with the fact that it can Wish and also Heal Bell. If he is going to bring it, I imagine it's going to be a Scarf set. However, he has to consider that Mega Aggron's a hard Pokemon with breakthrough, so he might bring Focus Blast, Gardevoir. And finally is Tauros. Again, I got a Mega Aggron, so I really can't see Tauros coming. But as a secondary Z user, can use things like Normalium Z for breakneck flex. I can boost up his attacks, even though Sheer Force Life Orb does a lot. I believe a Z move boosted attack does a little bit more, but in the grand scheme of things, I think Life Orb is better just for that residual increase in damage. But without further ado, let's get to the team we decided to bring for MX3. His team it has such a good team matchup, as I said previously. Mega Medicham and Gengar, just a great offensive core. Then he's got Vaporeon and Mandibuzz that can really just bulk a lot of my hits and try and take down my team. The expected team I thought he was going to bring was Mega Medicham, Vaporeon, Gengar, Mandibuzz, Salamence, and Raikou. So we'll see if we are correct a little bit later on. But this battle was definitely a fun one, definitely a crazy one, and definitely a hacksy one, so let's get into it. So first Pokemon on the team is going to be Victini. 3 attacks with the Sugar Berry. This is a very fun set I decided to conjure up so that we can 1v1 the Vaporeon. We have got Work Up, Thunder, Searing Shot, and Glaciate. Of course, Glaciate for things like Salamence can also slow down a few of those other threats. Searing Shot is basically 100% accurate. Fire type move with a 30% chance to burn, I believe. 30 or 20% chance to burn is very nice if I want to try and break through the Tangrowth. And then we've also got Thunder for things like the Vaporeon and also the Mandibuzz. After +1 with Work Up, we can 2KO any variance of Vaporeon, even if it is max BDF. So this is going to be fun. It also allows me to take a hit from the Salamence. It allows me to take an Earthquake, and as long as I am at full health, I can live a Adamant, Flyinium Z, Fly from a Salamence. I can also take on the Steelix with this if I decide to 1v1 it. I can take an Earthquake pretty well, and then I can just fire off a Searing Shot, getting it down to sturdy and hopefully burning it for the knockout. But next up we have got Muffet the Galvantula. Now, Muffet hasn't really been doing much this season. I hope that this game Muffet really shows her worth. We have got Sticky Web, Thunderbug Buzz, and Hidden Power Ice. This team really does not appreciate switching into this Pokemon, and we have enough speed so we can outspeed a Modest Raikou. I think, yeah, that's definitely a Modest Raikou that we can outspeed. So we can outspeed all his team apart from Modest Raikou and Jolly Tauros. I believe it's Jolly. I usually get Jolly and Tubin mixed up. But Hidden Power Ice is nice for the Salamence, and we've also got Bug Buzz for, of course, the Tangrowth, and the Thunder's just very nice for attacking things. So we've got 2 Thunders on 2 different mons. 77% accurate Thunder due to Victory Star, and it's 91% accurate due to Compound Eyes. So that's going to be nice. Next up we've got Zen and Nidoking, an absolute monster versus his team. Because with the Sticky Webs up, no Pokemon barring Scarfers can outspeed this Pokemon. This Pokemon can 2KO, I believe, every single Pokemon on his team, as long as Stealth Rocks are up. And as long as Stealth Rocks are up, and I mean, we click the right moves, obviously. So we got Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, and Ice Beam, just perfect coverage for his team that we can allow to break through it. And next up we have got Scarf Togekiss. It's coming finally. It's been a while since I brought it. I think it was the last time I brought it. Oh no, it hasn't been a while. Did I bring it versus Haz? Oh yeah, I did bring it versus Haz. Yeah, it was the Rocky Helmet variant. So it hasn't been that long, actually. Did I bring it? I didn't bring it from Micah. No, I didn't bring it from Micah. I brought Licky from a Wish Passer. We've got Air Slash, Aura Sphere, Dazzling Gleam, and Wish. I didn't really know what to put on this last slot. I thought Endeavor would be nice, but it didn't really make much sense because if I'm like trying to Endeavor, like if he's trying to sack something and if I Endeavor it, and I'm at higher HP, then that Pokemon's just essentially going to get a free hit off, so that doesn't really make sense. I decided to put Wish in just in case I get scared Pokemon out, get a Wish up, and then going to one of my other Pokemon. We've got enough investments so that we can live 2 of a Jolly Mega Medichamp's Ice Punches, and we've got enough speed so we can outspeed a timid Raikou if it does come down to it. We're up to Dazzling Gleam for the knockout. And next up we've got Mega Aggron. This is a dope set. We've got enough investment so we can live an Adamant, High Jump Kick from a Mega Medicham, I believe. We have got Taunt, Stealth Rock, Heavy Slam, and Toxic. This Pokemon is designed to take on his Vaporeon and the Steelix. Steelix should feel very comfortable setting up Stealth Rocks on this Pokemon, so I felt, hey, you know what, let's just run a speedy Mega Aggron with Taunt. We can also taunt the Vaporeon if it tries wishing up and try and get some health, because a Vaporeon that is taunted is very I mean, its usefulness is decreased a lot. And finally we've got Smoke, the Hydreigon with Chople Berry. We've got Roost, Substitute, Toxic, and Dark Pulse, taking a little bit of inspiration from my man Jolt from the Token Minorities, when he brought a substitute. I believe his was Thunder Wave over Toxic for when he was playing against Geo in the GBA, but I decided to bring this set just basically because his team really does not appreciate Toxic. Yes, of course he has got 2 clerics technically, one very confirmed cleric in Vaporeon that can definitely run Heal Bell, but I mean Heal Bell's only got 8 PP, and I can still, if he doesn't bring any Pokemon that can resist, or is, yeah, well, that doesn't get affected by Toxic, I can still go for Toxic, and then if he Heal Bells them all off, I'll still have 8 Toxics left against this team. We've got Dark Pulse just again for our things, so we can stall out the Mana Buzz, the Time Growth, the Vaporeon with this. We can actually take a hit from Steelix with our investment. Our investment also allows us to live a Jolly High Jump Kick from Mega Medicham, which is quite important, just in case we want to get about 60% of chip damage off with Dark Pulse if it comes down to it. But that is going to be very nice. I didn't really find another useful item to add on Hydreigon, and I felt that if I wanted to bluff the Scarf I could, because I was running a berry. I haven't brought Scarf Hydreigon yet, maybe I might versus Spoink, who knows, but just a very nice set that definitely abuses the fact that his walls can't really do much offensively. Like he can't like run, like for example Mega Aggron, like it's a natural wall, right? But he can't. But I can still run like coverage, like Avalanche and Heavy Slam and stuff. I got 3 kills last week with it, just because of how much of a monster it is. So, but his team, like really, it's either defense with some of your mons or offense. So that's going to be very crucial. But we can Toxic down a lot of his team. If we can get enough chip, then we should be able to win with a Nidoking under Sticky Webs, a Victini under Sticky Webs, or a Scarf Togekiss. Without further ado, let's get into this battle. So this is the team that MX3 decided to bring. I got every single Pokemon right except Steelix instead of Raikou, which honestly I thought that Steelix might come. It was definitely a Pokemon that I think that it was the 7th most likely Pokemon to come, so I wasn't far wrong. But yeah, just I feel really confident with this team. I like not a lot of people helped me with this team, which obviously isn't a bad thing, but Genghis, he had to do a lot of work. Has already saw MX3's team, so he really couldn't give me much advice, so I guess fair enough. Maybe she shouldn't have seen MX3's team in the first place if he was trying to help me out. But yeah, just there weren't many people that were really on to help me, so I just decided to bring to make this team myself. I'm pretty sure most of these ideas were mine. I was actually debating whether bringing a Darkinium Z Taunt 3 attacks Victini or Shucker Berry work up Victini, and at the end I just swapped it because why not. And I feel like this would do well because he did bring Salamence and Steelix, which can't do work. You're gonna see they bring some very weird sets, and I'll just be I might save some of my commentary to the very end of this video, but some extra commentary, sorry. But let's get right into the battle. So going against this, I know that I have to lead with my Mega Aggron. It leads all the Steelix. I have no hazard removal in this team, so I have to try and taunt it so that rocks don't go up. I feel like I can pressure his team because he's most likely running defog with Armaldos, and that's a Dragon Dance variant of Salamence. And then I was thinking Choice Scarf Gengar, Cleric, bulky Vaporeon, and then just, I don't know, an offensive Steelix. Oh yeah, I don't know, like kind of invest in attack. By the way, if he is running Gyro Ball and Steelix, he needs to be almost max attack to break one of my Hydreigon substitutes, and if he does not have any attack investment, Heavy Slam does not break my substitutes. So that's something very something to note. So I am going to go out with my Mega Aggron, as he does lead off the Mega Medicham. I know they can live anyone hit from this Pokemon, so I decide. I believe I decide to stay in regular form. No, I don't. Sorry, I Mega Evolved. I should have stayed in. Well, I calculated and I did like 84% max. So yeah, I guess it was a good play, and I do get my attack boost. So that's quite nice. So he's just going to go for the Fake Out here, as we are going to take that hit very well. I'm going to go for the Heavy Slam here. If he goes out into the Vaporeon, I can always go out into the Hydreigon here, as he does decide to go out into the Steelix, so it is going to be able to chew up this Heavy Slam. And from this damage, I know the Steelix has got a lot of HP and a bit of defense investment on this Pokemon as well. Of course, it was only 4%, so we can't really tell its investment too much, but he's definitely got a bit of defense investment, and he's max HP. So go for the taunt here, knowing he's going to try and set up his Stealth Rock to my Mega Aggron. So the tech is coming through, boys. The tech is coming through. Don't you say the Parksy can't bring good sets, because I definitely showed they can. So I say go in the Hydreigon here, knowing he's either going to switch or go for the Earthquake. I knew he's going to switch into the Vaporeon, or either he was going to stay in and go for the Earthquake, so that was very nice play on my end. MX3 playing a little bit safe so far, so he's just going to go out into the Vaporeon here, as I decide to... I believe I decided to set up my substitute, yes, so set up my substitute here, showing that I'm not Scarf type Dragon, but I just felt that if I could Toxic down the entirety of his team, barring Gengar and Steelix, that'd be more useful, as he is going to go for the Scald here. Is not going to break my substitute, and there is a chance that if he isn't investing special attack, that I can actually keep my substitute up as the next Scald comes out. So I'm just going to take the time here to go for the Roost. I really want to keep my Hydreigon healthy, because I can live a high jump kick from that Mega Medicham. As he decides to go out into the Steelix, I feel absolutely great about this. I get my health up. I've damaged the Vaporeon. I've got a Toxic on it, and from the look of it, it doesn't have Heal Bell, either that or he just doesn't feel like Heal Belling it off. I get a huge chunk of damage off with Dark Pulse, which kind of makes me regret not being the black glasses on Hydreigon, but oh well. So I fire off a Dark Pulse here, and that does quite a bit of damage. And after this Dark Pulse, I realized that I got a high roll into a low roll. Like, I got 40% of the 34%, so that was like two of like the most like different rolls you could have got. That was like max to min rolls. So yeah, I calculated in this thing, it's almost max SpDef, so it's like 228 into SpDef and like 30 something into defense, so definitely a very bulky Steelix. Unfortunately, he does have the Boar. Unfortunately, he roars me out into the Galvantula. He couldn't, like, every other Pokemon could have revenged this Pokemon except Galvantula. Galvantula is the only Pokemon that cannot OHKO this Steelix with the ranges at. Even if he gave me Togekiss, yeah, I'd take 25% from rocks, but I can Aura Sphere it. But I doubt that he'll want to keep a Steelix in, because that probably is his check to Togekiss. I doubt he'll make an aggressive play right off the bat into Gengar on a potential Air Slash, which can do about 60%. So of course, the one Pokemon he could have got that would have been the worst for me, he got, but I mean, hey, it happens. It's Pokemon. He does break my Sash, unfortunately, as I am just going to take the time here to go set up my Stealth Rocks, not my Stealth Rocks, my Sticky Webs, as I really want to pressure him to defog these hazards away, because I'm like, okay, my Victini gets hurt, and my Togekiss gets hurt by these hazards. I'm really surprised he brought a Steelix, because I've got a lot of hazard removal on my team, as I'm going to say. He brought some really weird sets and some really weird plays, so bear with me. But I was really surprised about the Steelix, because my team has got so much hazard removal. I felt it would just be a nuisance to actually try and set up Stealth Rocks on my team, because you're just gonna have a Blastoise spinning them away, Hitmonlee spinning them away, and I also have Togekiss, Hydreigon, and a Togekiss, Hydreigon, and Aerodactyl. I can also defog them all away, and Aerodactyl I thought would be a huge threat versus this team, and you might try and prep for it, but I guess you prefer it in Steelix, but we do get a low roll with Nidoking into a like that was the minimum roll I could have got versus Max Spadef Vaporeon, and then I got into like a moderately high roll, not the highest, it was like 52% highest. So I'm just glad that I knocked out the Vaporeon. So there's going to be a 5-5 as I decide to go into my Mega Aggron. If he goes to the Earthquake here, then I can shoot his head, as he decides to show that he's got Defog on this Salamence. So right here I'm like, what? He's got Defog on this? I thought this was going to be like a Dragon Dance variant of Salamence, and then I was like thinking, oh crap, he predicted me to have webs. That's a Roost Tailwind 2 attacks Mandibuzz, of course it is. He's got Tailwind in the back, and Mega Medicham under Tailwind can just destroy my team, so I definitely have to keep Victini alive, and Gengar also under Tailwind can just get a kill, so that's quite scary as well, because Togekiss can't revenge either of them as long as Tailwind's up. So I was a little bit scared of Tailwind Mandibuzz, if I must say so myself, but I believe I decide to switch out here because I'm like, well, this thing's Defog, it's not got Dragon Dance, so I was like, crap. That thing might be Fire EMZ Fire Blast, and I was looking at the calc and it did it. It didn't knock out my Mega Aggron, of course it didn't, because it's a giant, you know, it's just indestructible, it just doesn't get O-code. But it did about 70%, and that was damage I really didn't want to take, so I decided to go into my Togekiss just to save his play in general. If he does go for the Earthquake, as you are going to see, I actually disconnected, my laptop crashed. So I'm planning to excuse me, I'm planning to get it like checked for viruses and stuff, because it's very weird how it's just continuously crashing. Either that, I'm also getting it getting more memory on it, because yeah, but decided to go for the Earthquake here, which is very nice. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess you must have like Thunderfang or something for my Togekiss. You might not even have Roost on, so I decided to go for the Dazzling Gleam as I work out this Max Spadef Salamence. Really did not make much sense to bring Max Spadef Salamence. I don't really know why he brought it, but I mean, hey, he brought it, so good for him. But I decided to go out into my Mega Aggron, predicting him to I don't even know what I was predicting him to go for. I think I don't know, just something that could hit my Togekiss kind of hard. So Focus Blast does not knock me out from this range, so I decided to go fire off a Heavy Slam here. I decided to go back out into the Salamence, and I'm pretty sure that this is not a Fire EMZ Salamence, so I decided to take this Draco Meteor that comes at me, and I decided to get off Toxic, and I'm like, wait, Draco Meteor, Earthquake, Defog. Then it's either he has Roost as his last move, or he doesn't have a move that can touch my Togekiss. Either way, very weird prep, as you're gonna see, he's got Roost. So I'm here like, well, my Togekiss hard walls, you know. So yeah, like I was so confused here. Like, he brought a Salamence that cannot touch my Togekiss. Sure, I was expecting this to be Flying EMZ definitely. For my Amoonguss, but he goes out into the Steelix here, so I go out into the Togekiss, and I'm like, fine, I'll just fire off an Aura Sphere, as we are going to be able to knock out the Steelix. It was pretty useless at 22% HP anyway, so we are going to go knock it out. Unfortunately, I don't know really what item the Steelix was holding, but I might predict it. Like, if I was going to predict something, I'd probably be Occaberry, because I didn't take damage when I Heavy Slammed it. So it goes out into Gengar here, as I am just going to be forced to go out into my Mega Aggron. He decides to go for the Sludge Wave here, so it's very nice to get a free switch into the Mega Aggron time to see now if this thing actually has got Focus Blast. I forgot to say in my narration that this isn't the Scarf Gengar, it's Life Orb, so I was like, okay, well, my team might beat you, Sticky Webs were up, and you didn't bring the most reliable Defogger in Salamence. I got a lot of ice coverage on my team, but you do. So he connects the Focus Blast, which of course is unfortunately 70% accurate, but we didn't get lucky here, so I go for the Ice Beam here in case he does decide to go out into the Salamence. In hindsight, I should have gone for the Earth Power here, because if he did go Salamence, then I just got a free switch in the Togekiss every single time. And looking at his team, if I can get a Toxic off on the Mandibuzz with my well-preserved Hydreigon, then I can actually beat his team with the Scarf Togekiss Air Slash. I just need to get a little bit more chip on the Gengar, and need a Toxic the Mandibuzz as he goes to the Ice Punch here. And of course, third time this season I get froze. It's 10% chance. 10% chance to get frozen. and I get frozen. So he goes out to the Mandibles here. I go for the Searing Shot. I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna throw me out. Searing Shot doesn't even thaw, and I'm there looking up, like I was looking up moves that can thaw, and like the it didn't really make much sense. It's actually, like, this is on really slow and still it's going super fast, but I was looking at moves that could thaw, and it was a pretty bad post. I really couldn't make sense of what could thaw and what couldn't, but I was looking at the description of Searing Shot, and it was like, this Pokemon lights his whole body on fire, emitting a super hot aura around it, and I was like, okay, well, this obviously has to thaw. Like, if you're going to make a super hot aura around yourself, you might as well thaw. But no, Pokemon, yeah, I mean, when did it ever make sense? They made Ultra Beast from another dimension of Pokemon. But I go into my Hydreigon here being like, okay, what's this thing gonna do? It goes to Nasty Plot, and I'm like, okay, still, what's this thing gonna do? It's got 55 base special attack, which Togekiss should be able to take hits from it. I also thought it was very weird that he brought offensive Mandibles, because, yeah, like, I would have been, well, okay, I'll get into that later as a way to say something, but no, that'd be for my afterwards commentary. But he goes to Nasty Plot here, and I'm like, okay, well, the best thing you can probably do is go for the Air Slashes. I realize here, this thing's got Hidden Power Fighting. And I was like, why have you got Hidden Power Fighting? Air Slash does more. Like, like, I was thinking, like, what did he bring? Did he bring Hidden Power Ice? Did he bring Hidden Power Fighting? Did he bring Hidden Power Dragon? Like, there's no Pokemon on my team, I'm pretty sure, with 4 times weaknesses. I mean, I don't think there's any Pokemon on my team with a 4 times weakness. Stop. But I don't think there's any Pokemon on my team with a 4 times weakness to Ice Fighting or Dragon. Anything that, of course, Hydreigon's weak to. So I was very weirded out by the Hidden Power play, not because it was strange to see, but because Air Slash does more. If you take into consideration, Air Slash is a base 75 attack, plus Stab, which is timesing it by 1.5. That results in about 112.5 base power, whereas Hidden Power would have been 9. It would have been, wait, let me. I mean, I guess it would have been to see it a little bit more, but I mean, no matter what Hidden Power you were bringing, I think Air Slash is just better just for mid-ground plays. Like, you're missing out on about 5 base power. I'm really trying to think over what would be the base power. I mean, it's something really close. It's like 30. I can't do the maths in my head. It's like I don't know. It's like 117.5 something. Okay, right, anyway, let's get back into the battle. So here I decided to go for my substitute here, as I thought I could really tank any hit this Pokemon wanted to go for, as it fires off a Hidden Power, so a little bit weirded out. So also, this thing outsped my Hydreigon. I forgot to say this in the team builder. I didn't think that he was going to bring any Pokemon to outspeed a min-speed Hydreigon or a min-speed Victini, because he knows, he's been watching my videos, and he knows that I bring 4, 12, or 20 speed EVs on my Pokemon to specifically outspeed Pokemon trying to outspeed creep my Pokemon, and still he brought a Pokemon with base 80 speed. I believe Mandibles got base 80 speed that outsped my Hydreigon, and that made absolutely no sense. So again, another thing that he brought that made absolutely no sense, but hey, I mean, it's working, isn't it? So I can't really complain. So I decided to get my Toxic off in this thing, so I'm like, okay, well, at least if Hydreigon's going to go down, it's going to get a Toxic off on you. I'm still going to go for my Togekiss Sweep, especially because this is a max speed, max special attack variant. I know that my Togekiss can definitely take this Pokemon down with a 2 KO, and in fact a Nidoking can just come in here and really do some damage to it if it does come down to it. So he is going to take a little bit more toxic damage, as I am going to go out into my Togekiss, and I'm going to get up a Dazzling Gleam. It's not going to knock out this Pokemon, but it's going to do about 70%, so basically it's going to put it in range of where another toxic chip damage is going to, in fact, actually no, it doesn't, but he gets his weakness policy, which is, again, I was like, okay, well, I really don't see why, because I'm still living the hit. But he did take quite a bit of damage, so I'm just going to be able to knock this Pokemon out with the Dazzling Gleam here. Actually, no, oh, I decided to go out on my Victini, alright. Why did I again? I guess it was because I didn't want Gengar to have a free switch in, and I mean, I don't really know. I mean, it works out all the same, I guess. I guess I get a little bit more damage, like I get my Victini a little bit more worn down. But he is going to be able to go out here into his Gengar here. I mean, it would have sacked Victini anyway to a Shadow Ball, so it doesn't really matter. So he's just going to go fire off that Shadow Ball, as my Victini is going to get knocked out. I have to send in my Nidoking here to revenge, and I have to go for the Ice Beam here, predicting him to go into the Salamence, because if I misplay and if I go for the Earth Power, this will cost me the entire game. Even though a Salamence cannot touch my Togekiss, he can very easily double out into that Gengar, which still can live the Air Slash. So it's going to come down to the wires. I'm going to fire off an Ice Beam. This thing isn't even Yachi, so I don't think it would have taken 2 Glaciates anyway. So like, I get a crit. Doesn't really matter, I assure you. So that's going to go knock out the Salamence. As out comes the Mega Match time, I'm like, okay, this thing's got Bullet Punch, he wins, and he should have Bullet Punch in this thing. So he goes to the Fake Out here. Bit of a interesting play. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could have won there actually if I went out into my Togekiss, because Togekiss should have been able to take a Fake Out, but I was under the assumption that this Pokemon had Bullet Punch, so he is going to go for the Ice Punch here, and I'm like, okay, this Pokemon's got Bullet Punch. I've lost, and I'm pretty sure a Fake Out was a rule anyway. I believe it was about 24% to about 27%, if I believe. So I go out into my Togekiss here, as I am just going to go fire off an Air Slash, expecting to lose this game, as in fact I do manage to knock out this Pokemon, getting another useless crit. Thank you for wasting my luck on all these useless things. But he's going to go into the Gengar here, as all I need to do is I need to get an Air Slash flinch, and I win the game. So I fire off my Air Slash, I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers, and I get the Air Slash flinch. But he gets the Cursed Body. So what that's going to mean is that I'm going to have to struggle, and I am not attack vest on this Togekiss. Obviously, this is going to do about 9%, so even a crit wouldn't have knocked it out. Could have saved the crit for their game. You should have saved the crit for there. I can't even speak. But he is going to go down to Life Orb, so that actually means that he wins by 0 differential and I lose by 0 differential. But a good game to MX3. Definitely a fun battle with a weird ending. But without further ado, let's get into something that I feel like reserving for a few of these for some of these videos. Okay, so obviously we've got such a high quality background to this, where I'm going to rant about a few things. So firstly, GG to MX3, of course, no disrespect to my opponent, but I should have won that game. As you guys can probably tell, there are a few hacks that happened in the game, and that's why I wanted to make this a different part to the video, because a lot of people were complaining that I guess my battle versus Luke, that I was just being, I don't know, like a crybaby or whatever, and that I should have just sucked it up. So if you don't want to watch this rant part, just click off the video. Thank you for watching for about 31 minutes. I really appreciate you taking time out of the day to watch me talk like a dork. But basically, what happened in the game was 3 very crucial things. First of all, he roared me into Galvantula, as I said previously, which is a 1 out of 5 chance that he actually got the Galvantula in. The only Pokemon that could not take out the Steelix. Every other Pokemon would have been able to take out the Steelix and get me a bit of momentum, whereas Galvantula didn't, and I had to be forced to sack it off. Could have went out into Hydreigon, but yet again, he could have just switched, or he could have roared me again, so I really didn't know. I was under the assumption he might have just roared me, kept me in a continuous roar cycle. Again, second thing, he froze my Victini, which mattered a lot, because as you see, if you go back and watch the video, his Mega Medicham, he Ice Punched my Victini, froze it, and then immediately went out into Mandibuzz. If I clicked Thunder there, which would have been my play, I know I said I clicked Searing Shot, but that was because I was under the assumption that a Searing Shot would have thawed me. If I went for Thunder, then that would have definitely 2-KO'd Mandibuzz. It might have got a Dark Pulse off, but I still would have been able to knock out the Mandibuzz. Actually, no, I was max speed on Victini, so he couldn't have outsped. So I get off 2 Thunders. My Victini is still at about 60% HP, and I still do live a Earthquake from the Salamence. He even said he has Tectonic Rage, but I'm pretty sure from a max HP max, I'm certain from a max HP max Spadef or very Spadef heavy Salamence, which he turned out to be, I do live a Tectonic Rage, and I can go for the Glaciate. Glaciate lowers the speed by 1 stage, so I will be able to 2-KO with Glaciate, because he was at about 60% with toxic damage. Yeah, so also, the third thing was that a cursed body happened. And you might be saying, "Oh, but Parksy, you got an air slash. You get air slash flinch, so you shouldn't be complaining about hacks." Yes, he also connected his focus blast, which was 70%. And yes, I know that it's got 10% more chance to happen. But the main, to get it down to the bare bone, I'm essentially saying that both of that was in our favor. So it would have been hacks not for it to happen. 6% air slash and 70% focus blast. And also, I wouldn't have been put in that scenario if my Victini wasn't frozen and if he didn't get my Galvantula. All in all, with the 20% chance for him to get my Galvantula in with the roar, for him to get 10% freeze, and for him to get 30% cursed body, and this had a 0.06% chance of happening. So to put it in other words, if we were playing 500 times this game, this would only happen 3 times. So in 500 games of this, it would only have happened 3 times. That's absolutely ridiculous that it happened to me in this very game. That basically every single thing that went wrong could have probably went wrong. I low rolled a few times, but I really can't, I can't complain too much about that, because as I said previously, the low rolls were kind of followed up by high rolls. Yeah, I was doing I was like working it out through my head, and for him, I would have won 2-0 against him if he didn't get hacks versus me. I would have got 2-0. I would have almost certainly secured my, well, not almost certainly, but I would have got a lot more of a chance to get into playoffs, because now I'm 2-4, and of course I still have a chance to get into playoffs, but that's assuming that Luke, Mike, and Spoink have less differential than me. If I won this battle, which I certainly believe I did, I believe that my prep was very good this game. It destroyed his. Again, I don't get offensive mandibles why I decided to bring that, but I just felt like for having such a bad team matchup versus him, where Mega Meta Champion Gengar destroyed me, where Vaporeon and Mandibuzz walled my team, I felt I did great to overcome that, and I felt that I definitely got robbed of a win. Of course, I'm not going to beat down too hard on MX3, because of course he is my friend, and you can't control hacks. I'm pretty sure if we can't control hacks, we wouldn't make it happen. But I mean, it's just very unfortunate to see that I put so much time and so much effort into it, especially with doing work towards my GCSEs this year. I still put so much time, so much effort into this, and to know that I should have won is just absolutely disgusting. It's such a horrible feeling. And again, of course, no bad blood between me and MX3. I still love my dude, and can't wait for the next replay, or rematch, I guess I should say. But thanks guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below, and goodbye.